Welcome into Jets Game Day presented by Audi. I'm Caroline Hendershot alongside Eric Allen and Bart Scott. The Jets are coming off a mini bye week after their Thursday night game against the Patriots. EA, do you like the mini bye?
I loved it because I had an opportunity to thaw out after that cold night in New England. But coming up, I'm so excited because this is the final weekend of football before Thanksgiving.
All right, the Jets are traveling out to Baltimore to take on the 5-5 Ravens. So let's get out of the tunnel. EA, with 7 games left on the schedule, what is the messaging coming from Aaron Glenn and the Jets staff?
Well, after that Patriots game on Thursday night, he said he liked the energy and the urgency of his team, but not the execution. The Jets are looking for that breakthrough. It did not come in prime time against the Patriots, who are the hottest team in the National Football League. But when you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens, to your point, they're 5-5. They need this game. They're a perennial playoff team. And for the Jets, they can really make a statement here late in the year.
Bart, you played for both the Jets and the Ravens, something you have in common with quarterback Tyrod Taylor, who was announced as the starter for this game this week. Now, what do you expect out of this veteran, and what will it take for the Jets to spoil a Ravens victory?
Well, I expect Tyrod to come in with poise and be cool under pressure. He understands how this defensive system works, even though it's different coordinators. Orr is a different coordinator. Wink Martindale is a different coordinator. Rex Ryan is a different coordinator. It all is organized chaos. So he saw it in practice, so he should be prepared for the aggressive nature. The X factor is probably going to be, Kyle Hamilton, as they've acquired a safety from the Chargers. It has allowed Hamilton to be that chess piece. What it's going to require is for them to be calm under pressure, because this is one of the toughest environments to play in here at M&T Bank Stadium. I'm actually out here early doing some scouting, so I can see if I can get some of the plays, and I'll give it to Tyrod so he can have the added advantage. But what it's going to take is physicality. It's going to take some physicality too, because the Ravens poise and possess some unique personnel groupings with a 300-pound fullback, with 3 tight ends that they utilize that's over 6'4", 6'5", and they have a 250-pound tailback. So these linebackers and this defensive line is going to be tested in their run defense, because when they're rolling, it's going to be because Derrick Henry is running the ball downhill. But they almost lost to Cleveland last week, so there is hope.
Yes, most definitely. And hey, let us know what you're seeing out there and pass it along to us as well, because we want to know what they're running out there as well. All right, let's get into our top storylines presented by HCL Tech. EA, what is your top storyline for this week?
The Jets' pass game needs some punch. Enter Tyrod Taylor. I like what I saw out of newcomer John Mechie against the Patriots. He had 3 catches and the touchdown. Adonai Mitchell, I know he only had 1 catch, but he was winning off the line of scrimmage and down the field. Taylor is a great long ball thrower, so watch him in this game. The Jets are moving on without Garrett Wilson, who unfortunately is on injured reserve. Mason Taylor continues to take steps from the tight end position. And the other guy the Jets really want to get going in the pass game, of course, is their top weapon offensively. That's Breece Hall.
Bart, what's your top storyline?
Well, my top storyline is the special teams, because they're going to have to be special. Now, you're talking about John Harbaugh, a former special teams coordinator. He's always put a lot of emphasis in the special teams. But I think we have the added advantage with the field position and being able to set Tyrod in that offense up with tremendous field position and being able to being almost in scoring position with 1 or 2 first downs. So it's going to be the return game for me, because I think that's a portion where the Ravens maybe can be taken advantage of. They have a new kicker. Justin Tucker is off of suspension, but he was let go. And they have a young kicker. And they have young coverage teams. And I think that, we have Pro Bowl caliber guys at that position. So I'm excited to see if we can flip the field and utilize a third of the team that's often forgotten in football.
Hey, and don't worry, someone who's not going to let us forget that these guys do all of the work and goes unnoticed sometimes, that's special teams coordinator Chris Banjo. And don't go anywhere, because he's coming up next with an exclusive one-on-one interview. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
How did you take advantage of the mini-buy?
You do as best as you can to kind of just recap, see exactly where you are mentally, personally, and then just kind of where we are as a group. But really, all in all, it's still kind of the same process in terms of what we do on a day-to-day basis. But you had those extra days, so it helps.
So I'm going to leave it open-ended. Where are you guys as a group through 10 games?
Still very, very optimistic. Still very, very optimistic just in regards to our process, how we go about our business, how we continue to look forward to growing. So we take everything a day at a time and just continue to keep battling.
Did you imagine coming in here, first-time special teams coordinator, that this group would perform at this kind of level so early in your tenure?
I don't know what I imagined, honestly. If I'm being frank, I didn't really necessarily look to like what the season expectations were. It was more so how can I get better and how can I put my best foot forward so the group can potentially do the same thing. And we go on a week-by-week basis, and they've been embracing that aspect of it. So just continue to look forward to what they're going to continue to do.
The big message from AG after the New England game was urgency and energy were both there, but overall, he wants the execution to be better. Is that what you're seeing as well, as far as in totality when you look at the Jets right now?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think execution can always be better. AG does a phenomenal job, not only just giving us a message, but giving us the right message on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis. And I believe the guys are definitely trying their best to make sure they hear him and then also go and display it as well.
There's only a few players in this roster over 30. Nick Folk's over 40. He's on an unbelievable run as far as his accuracy is concerned. Now that we're getting towards Thanksgiving, how do you guys approach practice this time of year as far as him kicking?
You just mentioned him being over 40 now, which he's older than me, and I mess with him all the time. You just asked me that question. It'd probably be a better question for him because I call him coach all the time as well too. He has a great feel of how exactly he wants to approach what it is he's doing. And I think it's no coincidence to see how he's performing. So when you talk about us getting into Thanksgiving, I'm sure he's going to have a couple of requests of things that he wants to do a certain way, and we do our best to make sure we provide the environment for him to go perform.
Isaiah Williams, his redemption has been unbelievable. Take me to Miami. What did you say to him after the game? Because he went through it against the Dolphins in front of the nation. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys would be stuck. And he rebounded from it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. When you talk about going back to Miami, what do I say to him?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say that right here on camera. No, I'm
yeah.
messing with you. Definitely got on him at the point, but at the same time, we were able to also have another conversation and spoke on like not letting anybody steal your confidence. Because I genuinely believe this, not only as a coach, but even when I played, that the moment you let anybody steal your confidence, it doesn't matter who else does believe in you, you're gonna be done for. So I was like, you gotta continue to have the confidence that you have in yourself, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and that will come to the forefront at some point. And sure enough, what he's been able to do so far with a lot of football left has really, really been impressive. He's still growing, obviously as a person and as a player, but I think he embodies everything that AG's been preaching when you talk about grit, being able to battle adversity the way he's been able to.
Kene Nwanwu, what makes him special as a kick returner? Since entering the league in 2021, he's got 5 returns for touchdowns.
Similar in terms of when you talk about, first and foremost, the confidence, believing that anytime you had that ball in your hand, that you could really be the one to make an impact on the game, specifically on that play. And then with him, it helps that he runs freaking 4.2 or 4.1 or whatever it is he runs. So that part is also cool as well. But he's a problem when the ball is in his hands. He's also not a smaller guy, so he's able to kind of run through some contact, run through some arm tackles, the smoke as we call it. So just the combination of variables that he brings together as well, I think make him impactful.
When you look across the sideline, you see John Harbaugh on Sunday. What do you think of, because he vaulted into that position after he was a special teams coordinator?
Just ultimate respect. Just ultimate respect. Other than that, I wouldn't necessarily say much. When you talk about what I think of is how can I make sure our group is ready to go and put our best foot forward. But when you just say the name Harbaugh in general, just ultimate respect. Ultimate respect for what he's been able to do with his career, what he's been able to do for the league, what he's been able to do for the city of Baltimore. So you definitely tip your hat out to him for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
No doubt. Thank you.
This exclusive interview is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. Coming up on Jets Game Day, Bart Scott gets into the film room to break down the Jets and the Ravens. Keep it here when we return. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL. Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Now it's time for Inside the Numbers brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 60, as in the amount of starts Tyrod Taylor will have in the NFL going into Week 12. Now in his 15th season, Taylor was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in the 6th round coming out of Virginia Tech and played his first 4 seasons there. Facing a Ravens defense that gives up 25 points a game, Taylor could be in for a vintage performance against his former team. Jets fans, your lucky numbers for the week are 60, 15, 6, 4, and 25. Now it's time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's. Bart Scott, what do you have for us this week?
So what we have here is what you call a near eye. When it's called a near eye, you can pause right here. When you have a near eye, and it goes to what we call a far eye. And this is to take the linebacker's eyes. And Quincy does a great job in not biting on a play fake, understanding that he has man-to-man coverage on the tight end. So you see everybody saying you got him. So that means that Sherwood has the linebacker right here, but now they have to swap it. Bromley has to take the fullback. Sherwood has to take the tailback. And Quincy has to take it. And they do this motion to take the linebacker's eyes. And Henry does a great job in blocking, sticking on the block with Jermaine. And then he's going to release, hoping that the linebacker doesn't see and that he can beat him to the first down marker. Because you see if he misses that, and a lot of guys come, or you look at the tight ends, they stop and the guy runs by and they run forward to the first down. A lot of linebackers in this league would have got beat to the edge and gave up a much bigger play and potentially gave up a first down. This right here is why you don't play man-to-man typically against Lamar Jackson, because when you're in man-to-man, you don't have zone eyes. You can't keep an eye on them. They have 2 mugged-up linebackers, and they're going to get out. Lamar sees the pocket, and when you rush 4 or 5, and they have the Ravens have so many guys up there, you have natural pockets that he can run through. He can exploit it. If you see right here, they have everybody mugged up. Lamar gets back. He notices man-to-man, and watch how the middle of the field just opens up. DeAndre Hopkins, being a savvy veteran he does, he just basically boxes out his receiver, and Lamar Jackson's able to get an explosive play to get down the field. But right here, when you look at this play, this is what makes the Baltimore Ravens unique. I don't know if you ever will see any other team with a tight end at receiver in a cut split. Then you have a 6'5", 6'6", 250-pound tight end in Collier. And then you have a 300-pound fullback in Ricard. And then you have a 240-pound 6'5" tailback. And what they're going to do here is you have this offset power eye with what we call a Trump formation. And the Trump formation is when you have a tight end up and one back off the line. And he's going to come and he's going to trap the 3 technique. What that allows is he basically takes the center's man and he works up to the second level. And then you still have the 300-pound fullback coming up. And Derrick Henry, he usually can outrun a lot of people, but Ward is one of the faster linemen. He loses his feet, but this is an explosive play. And Derrick Henry getting downhill, you have to stop his feet and force him to chop his feet, because if you don't, when he gets that momentum, he's hard to stop. Now, if you freeze it right here, you'll see the formation that I'm talking about. I want you to look at the guy in the A gap in between the center and the guard to the right side if you're looking from this way. You would typically, the center would block back to that guy. But what they're going to do is they're going to what we call a wham block or trap the 3 technique. So he's going to think he's free. He's going to get up the field. But most defensive tackles know that when you get up the field, nobody's blocking you. Somebody's coming to hit you from somewhere else. And that's exactly what happens. Kohler comes over, seals that, allows Linderbaum to get up to the second level. And then they're still going to come through with a fullback. And he didn't even have anybody block. And Derrick Henry comes through and it's nothing but pay dirt.
Good stuff as always, Bart. When we return on Jets Game Day, we give you our final thoughts as we get closer to kickoff in Baltimore. This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Jets fans, head on over to jackpocket.com or download the Jackpocket app. New customers opt in and get $5 in free lottery credits on Jackpocket. Don't forget to use code TAKEFLIGHT.
When it comes to this game, looking at Baltimore, they're an organization that a number of people look at and try to emulate because of the way they operate. When it comes to their players, I mean, obviously on offense, Lamar and Derek are two guys you got to get ready to watch out for, which opened up a lot of opportunities for Zay in the passing game. When it comes to their defense, everything revolves around Cal and Roquan. Two really good players. But really, man, everything that we talk about, everything that we need to do needs to be focused on how we operate, how we improve.
What's it like for you going back to the place where it all started for you?
It's a full circle moment for sure. Thankful for my time in Baltimore. I learned a lot from the coaches there, to the players within that locker room. Learned a lot about football, learned a lot about how to carry myself off the field as well too. Like I said, just forever thankful for the 4 years that I spent there. I have a lot of friends in that building still. It's been a while since I went back there to play, but yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity for us. Have a very good team, and we're looking forward to stepping up to the challenge this weekend.
That was your Locker Room Roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. Alrighty, it is time to make your case. EA, let's go. First one for you. The Jets have the 5th best rushing attack in the NFL, while the Ravens have the 4th best rushing attack. Now, without relying too much on Tyrod Taylor and his mobility, how big of a game is Breece Hall going to have to outperform this Ravens rushing offense?
Well, I don't know if he has to outperform the Ravens rushing offense, but the Jets do need a big game out of Breece Hall. And that's not necessarily just running the football. You can use him as a receiver, and the Jets have put an emphasis on that this week. You can use him as an outlet. You can line him up outside the numbers. You also can go to 2-back sets with Isaiah Davis because he is your most versatile weapon on offense. Now, with that all being said, the Ravens are going to continue to target him, and the Jets have to have more balance offensively, especially in the pass game.
I think that dual threat of Breece Hall sometimes is a little bit underrated. Obviously, we always want to hand him the ball, but his pass catching ability is second to none. So I want to see a little bit more of that from him as well. All right, EA, next one for you. Tyrod Taylor's lone start this season was Week 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He completed 26 passes. Which player on the Jets offense is going to be in line for the most targets from him?
Well, the Jets are forging ahead without Garrett Wilson, who unfortunately is on injury reserve. That guy's a superstar. You can't replace him. Mason Taylor, the rookie tight end out of LSU, continues to impress. He's second on the team in targets. The Jets are going to continue. They're going to continue to get him the football. The other guy who you're going to get the ball to is the guy we just talked about. That's Breece Hall out of the backfield. Then the two newcomers. John Mechie played very well against the Patriots, had the touchdown, had 3 catches. Adonai Mitchell brings a big-time speed element to the game. And don't be surprised if the Jets go early to Mitchell with a vertical strike because Taylor throws the ball as well as anybody down the football field.
I like this sentiment of really spreading the ball around instead of just relying on one player. I feel like that way the Jets can confuse, ideally, the Ravens defense. So we'll see about that. All right, EA, it's time for the final thoughts. I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, listen, this is a tough task ahead for the Jets. You're going in there and you're a double-digit underdog, and most people are not giving you the chance. I love the fight the Jets showed against the Patriots, but Aaron Glenn is right. They just have to execute better. You want to give yourself a chance in the second half against the Ravens. It's going to take a complementary effort. That means more balance offensively. You have to be stout against the run, against this Ravens attack, and then get after Lamar Jackson, keep him in the pocket, and then you got to spring a couple big returns special teams-wise. If all those things come together, the Jets are going to give themselves a chance at a big-time upset.
Hey, we saw how the Ravens looked without Lamar Jackson earlier this season when he was out with injury. If the Jets defense can shut him down and shut him down early, I think they have a really fair shot at winning this football game. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us on Jets Game Day presented by Audi. You'll see us next week when the Jets return to MetLife Stadium and host the Atlanta Falcons.